What is going on? Welcome everybody. This is Michael, the Leo Mystic, your astrologer, looking at both the light and the dark in the chart of this week. We have a new moon in Pisces coming up, and we are building towards that, and it's going to be conjunct Jupiter. And as you know, Jupiter is expansive, opportunities, abundance, so looks pretty good, but there's so much more going on. And as we're building up towards the new moon, as you know, with every new moon and full moon, I write a full PDF, a guide, a spiritual guide for you to download completely for free. Or you can choose to support me for just $4.99. That's up to you. But it has all the meanings of the new moon, all the astrological aspects in depth. It has the best questions to ask yourself in this very moment to align with this energy and to best use this energy. It has a free meditation into it. So, I mean, it's just a no-brainer. Go get it. It's in the comments below, the link. So download it now. And, this week is like a new start. It is you jumping into the abyss of faith or going back towards old ways of doing things. Which train do you want to jump on? Or, with Pisces, which boat do you want to float on? Or do you just want to jump on a piece of wood and not knowing where the fuck you're going to end up? I honestly want to be on at least a boat that I know can resist some pretty darn waves that are coming up, but that doesn't require too much effort to turn. You don't want to be on a Titanic type of boat. You just want to be on a boat where you can invite a couple of people, like 20 or something, and just decide where you want to go. So we're starting off the week with a sun in Pisces that is approaching Jupiter. And as I already said, that's expansive. That brings opportunities and possibilities. And since it is in its home sign of Pisces, that is dreams. It is deep intuition. It is beauty. It is experiencing oneness and optimism. Really, joy. It's a beautiful, joyful week. And at the same time, Jupiter expands Piscean qualities of naivete, of disillusionment, of just seeing things too beautiful, and then having to experience that deception. So that is only, though, if you really blindly follow people, blindly follow situations, think that, without questioning, without discerning, really. And I think discernment is something that we've really had to learn past year. So if you've not learned that lesson, it's going to be very hard for you. We had the South Node in Sag for a whole year and a half. And honestly, we've seen where there's too many people preaching the truth. So it is really for you right now to have done the work and seeing, okay, what is true for me? What is true for me? And it's impossible, obviously, to completely eliminate your conditioned beliefs. But, when it comes down to who to believe on social media, when it comes down to, what you should eat and all those things that are very, close to you, that's the things that I'm talking about. So anyway, I think overall very optimistic, very spiritual, because we got Neptune, which is being activated massively, trining the nodes. The nodes are karmic points, and so these are supportive elements that help us and support us in our growth of our soul, of our experience, meditative experience, spiritual alignment experience. So, I think these are times where when you meditate, when you take time to flow, when you take time to trust your intuition and really go deeply within, and not going deeply within in the sense of like not doing anything and escaping, but in the sense of like, let me just for a moment take time to let that sink in. You have deep, beautiful, meditative, oneness, union experiences. Wow, it's there. And I would encourage you to take that opportunity. There's time to really connect, to really see the oneness, to really have compassion, the cultivation of compassion for others, to see the suffering, and to really deeply feel. Deeply feel. That's really what it is about. Deeply feeling. And where we have to ask ourselves, what is surrender? Surrender to a higher power, a higher mind, and the realization that there is something bigger that is moving through us. It's so spiritual, so deep. But at the same time, it could be very religious. And again, if you don't practice self-discernment, not to say that self-discernment is the truth either, but at least it brings you in, it has more opportunity to bring you in alignment with yourself and with your own truth. But for those people who really don't know how to practice self-discernment and know what's best for them, they lose themselves in illusion, in mist, that which is behind me right now. It's very misty for those people. They don't know. They don't see the road. They don't have a strong will, a strong ego in that sense. In that sense, okay? So we're building up towards a new moon then, and the new moon happens on Wednesday at 6:35 CEST time, European time. And it happens minutes after Mercury passed Saturn. So we have Mercury on Saturn. So we got to talk about that first. There's a whole new cycle of taking responsibility for your own words. This has to do with rules. And as we're seeing now, right now, everything that is like, you can feel everything fade away of rules around the pandemic. They're still there, and those people are still in illusion, still believe that they are true. But what we're going to see right now is, first and foremost, once Mercury passes Saturn, new rules come into are being outspoken. Like, these are the new rules. This is what's going to happen. There's a new start in that sense of new rules being placed upon us. But at the same time, people are going to break free from that old. And I feel that more people are just going to move on and break free from to really start taking responsibility for themselves. That's what's up. But Mercury on Saturn is you being blocked in your mind, you being blocked in your speaking. At the same time, we have all those spiritual experiences that I am talking about right now. I think this is our saving grace in implementing, in integrating, in questioning, in self-discernment. So, people who are open to new experiences and who question things, question themselves, and at the same time know what needs to happen to come back to their center, have that opportunity to implement. So then there comes the new moon in Pisces, which is very a new start for spiritual experiences, meditation, and the perfect moment to start a new meditation practice and all those things, yes. But I think since it is conjuncting Jupiter, but not there yet, like I think it's 2 degrees away from Jupiter, so we're like in balsamic phase, and that is about a surrendering. Their opportunity to really learn what surrender means, surrendering to an inner wisdom instead of trying to figuring it out. And I think there is where we can have that paradoxical energy of Mercury on Saturn and the new moon conjunct Jupiter, where on one hand we have so much spiritual experiences and so much like opening up of dimensions, bringing us information. But Mercury and Saturn is going to really be super critical and like very like question. And when you do that, there's too much left brain. And the like the danger, I don't think it's danger. It's like the pitfall of not taking real, or not thinking that these experiences are real because you're too judgmental, too critical. So on one hand, we got to keep that balance between the like an inner guidance system, and therefore you need to know what you need to do in order to come back to your center and to surrender. It's really, surrender is a practice, which it shouldn't be, because surrender is surrender. But for people who are like us, like you and me, who really are so trained in to think our way through things, it is really difficult, and we need to practice. We need to actively surrender, actively feel as if it like really envision, experience, and really meditate upon that there's so much more around us that is happening that is not because of us, and inside either. And that constant experience, in my experience, is just realizing that there's so much more power, so much more beyond our control, and that has to do with faith, and then reflecting that back towards yourself in terms of this life of mine is there. I don't have, that's not under my control. And at the same time, with a Mercury Saturn, we then can, when we allow ourselves to do that, also come in and step in and say, I can be a co-creator. I can actively step into that process and give detailed manifestation. It's as like a free will kind of thing. You know, and even that, I think we're surrendering those beliefs about what free will is and what fate is and whether that's real, like what is true here. But, you know, I think we're trying our best as humanity to really explain it to into like some theory. Anyway, so that new moon giving us the opportunity to start anew in a spiritual manner, in a religious kind of way, in practicing compassion, and to really jump into the abyss of faith and allow to come what needs to come, but not let ourselves be swept away and then just float on the freaking piece of wood and like then being overwhelmed by the extreme rapid and drown, which is possible, or at least, you know, think ahead a little bit, even though a boat is just a fake, you know, sense of safety, but at least it has been tested under certain conditions. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the kind of tension that we're playing with. It is never like a boat. When like under a circumstance of a tsunami, is worthless. But the likability of a tsunami happening is very low, because we can at least then predict that the tsunami is coming. You know, so anyway, versus being on a piece of wood, you know, just a little wave can throw you off. So at least step on the boat is what I'm saying. And what I mean by that is your practice of the last months, tested, verified. We still have that. We have the North Node in Taurus. I've said this enough. This is about stability. This is about working with the things that you have, that you've been working on. This is about your self-worth. That should be a boat by now, not a piece of wood. So it is also sextile Uranus, surprisingly, pun intended, because Uranus is about surprises and unexpected events happening. We can expect this whole month, the new moon in Pisces, and actually 6 months, you know, until the full moon in Pisces, bring us unexpected surprises. But sextile is integratable. The ability to integrate the shocking revelations, the shocking experiences. And it's as if I have a sensation with this kind of energy, dreams coming true. Unbelievable dreams manifesting. Because conjunct Jupiter, sextile Uranus. This is beautiful. This is magnificent. This is as if it was meant to be. You know, I watched the movie yesterday, Slumdog Millionaire, and the question was like, I can't remember the options, but one was, is it written? And like, it is written. And I think we can have that feeling of, it is written. You know, it is meant to be. It is written. There's one little aspect that is a little less comfortable, which is, it's not a little less, it's actually one of the most uncomfortable, and that is semi-squaring Pluto, which is, you know, which is being conjunct by Venus and Mars, where Mars still has the upper hand because it's in Capricorn, and it is still overtaking Venus. So this is a force. Mars-Pluto is domination, control, abuse, sexual abuse, power abuse. And a semi-square over to the new moon this is where I see this as a spiritual crisis, because Pluto transforms, and we're needing to, I think the spiritual crisis is the one of surrender, where we think that we're surrendering, but we're really not, and Source needing to show us what surrender really is. And it having to do a lot with relationships, Venus and Mars, and sexual relationships, and pure power, and the fear of power, but also the fear of spiritual power. And seeing what spiritual power can do. And this is dealing with fears, because Pisces has to do with unconscious fears, and Pluto is fear. So there's fear coming up for sure. And I think the fear of being extremely powerful. And I would say, if you have the right intention, go for it. Don't even think. Mercury Saturn will think and will tell you what to do. But let me tell you this. This is where we have to learn at the same time to take orders and to let whatever plan that we thought we have for the rest of our lives in the future, to let that plan be written and let the orders be given, and you taking those orders and implementing them is the best beautiful thing that you can do for your life. I think this week is about listening and about really, you know, at the same time being very integrative, being very like grounded, and knowing what you want, knowing your own worth, North Node Taurus, but also being so humble. Humility, as into this is my next lesson and I'm going to implement it. And those people grow in spiritual power big time. And then we got Mercury square their nodes, Saturn square their nodes, Chiron square their nodes at the end of the week. And I mean, Chiron square their nodes is happening the whole freaking like 3 weeks, for a month, less or more. That is an awkwardness and discovering that it's a healing, but a healing of an awkwardness in taking action and of your self-image first and foremost. Mercury square the nodes is going to bring Mercury very loud in Aquarius, different thinking, questioning, old ways of doing things, important communication that is coming on your path, but just maybe people really not taking responsibility for their words. Mercury on Saturn. Saturn square the nodes, a kind of domination, control, again, more restrictions, more rules, again. But at the same time, a question for us to, are you ready to take your own responsibility and to be your own authority here, right now? This is about power. This is about, you know, first, a complete surrender. And in that surrender, a kind of stability. It's a very paradoxical Piscean energy that I'm talking about. So anyway, if you want to learn more about the new moon in Pisces and really nail it down and question, and you ask yourself, what should I be doing? Download the PDF, and it's all with instructions, with the right questions, and you know that you are at least following the astrological energy and asking questions for yourself. I wish you the best. Happy new moon in Pisces. Happy Sun and Jupiter conjunction, which happens on Saturday at 3 p.m., which is going to be a massive, like, if there's anything that you need to do and like that you want full best energy on, do it Saturday. And then something beautiful starts happening. Once that new moon, by the way, happened, Venus starts overtaking Mars in Aquarius now, and Venus is more dominant, more powerful, and we're going to see, honestly, we're going to see people break free, people question, people rebel, and I think things are going to be like, I have an image of things being torn open and a complete restructuring. Everything that was the rules is now not anymore the rules. It's just chaos, which is very Piscean too. I think chaos, but in a beautiful word, where we can really now start thinking, you know, okay, this belongs here, that belongs there. It's okay. We can structure this. We're still in the Piscean mode there, where it's like going to be like, okay, it's all fine, it's all good, you know, it's with Sun Jupiter. So I don't think it's going to be too much like bad chaos. There's going to be chaos, but a good kind of chaos. We'll see. Good luck this week. Wish you the best. Much love. Sat Nam. Bye-bye.